Biosafety hazard.
Good morning, Miss Denny, and to everyone. We are the last presenter, which is the group 6. And the topic that we're gonna discuss is about biosafety hazards. So, biosafety hazards in the environment refers to the potential risk associated with release of biological agents that can harm living organisms, including humans, animals, and plants. So, biosafety hazards mao ni makahimo og mga possible disaster nga atong matubang tungod sa pagtrabaho nga naka-involve og mga materyales sa mga biological. Og tungod pod ani mao pod ni hinungdan nga nganong makadaot sa atong mga tawo sa atong panawas og dili lang pod natong mga tawo utro pod ang mga laing mga living organisms like plants and animals. And these hazards makahatag og post-stress sa atong public health and ecosystem tungod sa mga lain-laing mga sources and activities nga atong gipangbuhat. And this biosafety, from the word biosafety, is about handling specific practices and safety equipment that can help us human, not just us, but also in other living organism to protect from to protect us from those toxins and infectious agents. This biosafety also it containment principles, technologies, and practices that are implemented to prevent the unintentional exposure of pathogens and toxins.
Pathogenic microorganisms. A pathogenic organism is an organism which is capable of causing diseases in a person. Bacteria, viruses, and fungi ang release sa pathogenic microorganism sa atong environment and it can lead to the spread of mga sakit nga makatakod sa mga tawo, sa hayupan, and sa plants. Genetically modified organisms or GMOs sa unintended consequences kay ang pag-release sa genetically modified organisms into the environment may have an unintended consequences. Mao ang pag-transfer of modified genes to wild populations or sa pag-develop og bag-o mas lig-on nga mga pest or pathogens.
Medical waste. Inadequate disposal of medical waste such as used needles or contaminated materials can lead to the transmission of diseases and environmental pollution. If magpatakatag butang sa mga needles, uban pa kay which can transmit infections like if ang isa ka tao kay naay HIV kay if magpatakatag labay kay it can lead to HIV sa matransmit sa laing tao. Agricultural waste. Improper disposal of agricultural waste including plants, debris, and contaminated soil can contribute to the spread of plant diseases and pests. Kaning agricultural waste kay if nakay contaminated soil nga butang nimo sa ay nakuha sa bodies of water kay it can lead to water pollution then maka-cause yung imbalance sa aquatic ecosystem.
Good day, guys. So for the next slide, about biosafety hazard is insects and other vectors. So usually caused by kanang transmitted insects such as mosquitoes and ticks, and can also be a significant biosafety hazard in certain environments. Tapos next kay pathogens in water. So pathogens in water may caused by pathogenic microorganism can lead to waterborne disease and affect aquatic ecosystems. So sunod kay dust and aerosols, activities that generate dust and aerosols. So kung nay waterborne transmitted disease na po airborne transmitted disease nya syempre kung airborne diseases siya, so usually dali siya makatag kay kuan man kanang through air man siya syempre makuha gyud na sa tao kay dali kay kuan raman dali ra siya makatag. So,
Alter disease pattern, changes in temperature and precipitation patterns that can affect the distribution and prevalence of the disease, impacting both human and animal population. Intentional releases, deliberately releases of biological agents as weapons can cause widespread harm to both the environment and human population. So to mitigate this biosafety hazard, it is essential to implement proper waste management practices, enforce regulations for the release of genetically modified organisms, and ensure stringent safety measures in laboratories and industries working with biological materials. Additionally, public awareness of education play a crucial role in preventing addressing biosafety hazard in the environment.
Biosafety hazard refer to potential risks or dangers that arise from working with biological materials including microorganisms, toxins, and other biological agents. These hazards can pose threats to human health, animal health, plant health, and the environment. Biosafety measures are put in place to prevent or control these hazards and minimize the risk associated with handling biological materials.
Next is the biosafety levels. The four biosafety levels are BSL 1, BSL 2, BSL 3, and BSL 4, where the BSL 4 is the highest or maximum level of containment. Biosafety Level 1. It involves work well characterized agents not known to consistently cause disease in healthy adults. They follow basic safety procedures called standard microbiological practices and require no special equipment or design features. Biosafety Level 2. It involves work with agents that pose moderate risk to personnel and the environment. Additional precautions such as controlled access to the laboratory and protective equipment like biological safety cabinets, autoclaves for sterilization, and more advanced PPE like eye protection and face masks. And also, safety measures are applied such as restricted access and biohazard signage.
Basic Level 3 in Biosafety Level involves work with agents that can cause serious or potentially lethal diseases. Facilities have additional engineering controls and personnel must undergo specialized training. Examples include Mycobacterium tuberculosis and viruses responsible for severe acute respiratory syndrome or SARS and influenza. Basic Level 4 in Biosafety Level. It involves work with agents that pose a high risk of life-threatening disease for which there are no vaccines or treatments. Requires maximum containment facilities with the highest level of security and protection. Example include Ebola virus and Marburg virus. Biosafety hazard can arise from accidental exposures, laboratory breaches, improper disposal of biological waste, or intentional acts such as bioterrorism. The goal of biosafety practices is to prevent release of hazardous biological agent into the environment and to protect laboratory workers, the public, and ecosystem from the potential consequences of exposure of these materials. Strict adherence to biosafety guidelines, appropriate training, and the use of personal protective equipment are essential components of comprehensive biosafety program. In conclusion, biosafety hazards pose significant risks to both human health and environment, emphasizing the critical importance of implementing rigorous safety measures, comprehensive risk assessments, and effective containment protocols. Safeguarding against potential biohazard requires a collective commitment to stringent biosafety practices. Continuous monitoring and the adaptation of cutting-edge technologies to mitigate the potential impact of emerging threats. By prioritizing biosafety, we can ensure the responsible advancement of scientific research and technological innovations while minimizing the potential for unintended consequences and safeguarding the well being of our global community.